from wherever you are tuning in. Happy Friday. We made it to another Friday. We made it to another Friday. So Fridays are clinical days for me. I am here in the office in my living classroom and still just organizing and doing the things before I get to start my patient day. And I just wanted to come on and share some insights that I learned this week. I don't have a question, a formal question that came in that asked me almost anything live inbox, but I had a question that came up during coaching. So I wanted to share this with you because I know that you are growth minded. So I know that you're here for growth and for learning and for becoming your best self. So I just wanted to share with you what came up in coaching this week. So I'm going to change a little bit of the background because I just want to protect the confidentiality. But one of my coaching clients came in this week and we were talking about, you know, their goals and their progress and things like this with the lifestyle changes that they're making. And the person shared with me that unfortunately they had a relative to go into the hospital in an emergency. And when we were going through their goals, they hadn't reached their targets because this person had an emergency. Their blood pressure was through the roof and they weren't feeling very well at all. This was a relative of my coaching client. And so as we were going through the person's goals and achievements and their wins for the week, one of the insights that the person shared with me was, I realize now how important all of these lifestyle changes are. And I realize more and more what I need to be doing in my own life. Now, that is a powerful insight to have. When you have an aha moment, that's like something you need to grab your pen, get your journal out, like write that down, highlight it, put a star next to it, go get some stickers from Target or the dollar store or whatever and put a sticker next to it. And I always do that with my coaching clients. Like, I want you to identify your aha moments because that's what's going to sustain you through these lifestyle changes. I'm not a motivational speaker, and I'm not an inspirational speaker. I may be motivating and I may be inspiring, but truly what I desire from my coaching clients is for that insight and knowledge to arise from within, because then it's more sustainable. Then it means something to you. So I asked the person to repeat that because I wrote it down and I had them write it down. And they said, I realize how important this is and what I need to be doing in my own life, and how important all of these changes are. So as we were digging deeper, the person also shared with me the lifestyle that this relative has. This relative does not like to cook at all, eats out, probably 7 days a week, does not cook. Now, I'm still trying to figure out whether the person just doesn't like to cook, doesn't have the tools, what the story is. But from what I gleaned in the conversation, it was a little bit of a combination of everything. Their kitchen is a little disorganized. They don't have the meal prep skills, yada, yada, yada. Either way, the bottom line is 7 days a week, they are eating out. Now, you guys know how I feel about that. I'm a lifestyle medicine specialist. I do integrative medicine here in my practice. I am all for going out to restaurants. You will see that on my feed. I love to go to a beautiful restaurant, especially when I'm traveling. But I am not a fan of, takeout all the time. I'm certainly not a fan. I don't care if it's DoorDash. I don't care if it's a 5-star restaurant, because you don't know what people cook with, what kind of oil they're using, how much sodium is in, the flour or the wheat that they're, cooking with, all this kind of stuff, your food sensitivities. A lot of you have not had any food sensitivity testing, which I highly recommend. You don't know if that could be causing a problem. So I'm not a big takeout fan of any kind, not for 7 days a week. So the person was also sharing with me, every time I go to this relative's house, we're always doing takeout. So when I do this takeout, it just puts me right back to square one and I have to struggle again. Here's what I want to ask you. If you find that this is the same case in your life, whether it be at work, whether it be in relationships, whether it be in your intimate partnerships, whether it just be friendships, whatever the case may be. Here's the question I want to ask you. Why are you allowing people who refuse to change to keep you from changing? Why are you allowing the people who refuse to change to keep you from changing? Now, what I mean by this question is, how can you change when you are in the company of people who refuse to change? You can't. How can you possibly change when you are in the company of people who refuse to change? And I use the word refuse because we all make choices. Every day, you're making the choice to watch this video. I made the choice to come to my office and do this video. I made the choice to put on this, my coverall. I made the choice to put on my Vans today because it's Friday and I want to be wearing my Vans. I made that choice. We make choices every single day. Now, does everything that happens in our life reflect our own personal choices? Absolutely not. Of course, there are things that are happening. Real life is happening, to us and for us. So we're not all, everything that happens to us is not a direct reflection of our own personal choices, but we're not talking in absolutes. We're talking about the things that we know for sure are the direct result and reflection of our choices. And my question is, why are you allowing people who refuse to change to keep you from changing? Let's use this coaching example. If these are people who insist on eating out every single night or every time that you are in their company, you have a choice. And this is what we explored together in coaching. This client came up with 5 different choices that they could make in the midst of this situation. They could prep something of their own and bring it to this person's house when they get there. They can say, oh yes, I don't mind doing takeout, but I'm going to order from, such and such restaurant where I know it's going to be all, vegetarian foods, non-GMO, such and such. They can choose not to go in the evening. They can go midday after they know that the person has already eaten and they've already eaten. So you know what I'm saying? They can also teach, if they love this person and really want to engage on this level, they can dig a little deeper and say, hey, let's take a cooking class together. They can help motivate this person towards better health. So you see where I'm going with this? We have choices. And when we want to change and are serious about making changes in our lives, we have to ask ourselves, who are the people around us who refuse to change? Not that they're struggling with making a change, not that they're trying to figure out how to make a change, not that they've hired their own coach and they're working through this and getting some skills and whatnot. Not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who have refused to change, who are not investing in their health, who are not going to exercise, who are not going to make, space in their lives. And that brings me to a bigger point. You have to make room for the things that you want in your life. You have to make room. If I wanted to, let's just say, change this classroom space, and if I wanted to add another desk or another shelf or I have to move things out of the way, right? I can't just keep bringing in furniture and bringing in more things and, oh, this is pretty, and oh, let's add that. Oh, I want a teaching board. Oh, I want a desk that raises up and down, and I want this, I want that. We can't. It would be impossible. I wouldn't be able to get any students in my classroom, right? So it's the same thing. We have to make room for the things that we want in our lives. And we have to ask ourselves, who around us is refusing to change? And how does their refusal impact your ability, my ability to change? I want to give you another little tool. I have so many journals, because journals to me are a great way to do reflection. You can't manage what you don't monitor and monitor. You can't manage what you don't monitor is what I'm trying to say. And so you can't change those things. You can't manage those things without monitoring and reflecting on things. You can't change things, right? So the journal is one of the most powerful tools that I have in my toolkit with my patients, with my students when I teach classes, and with my coaching clients. I always, always, always require them to have a journal. And so one of the ways that I set up my own personal journal, and I had gotten this from a podcast that I listened to, and it's a podcast for entrepreneurs. So when I was first starting my practice and started my business, I had a business, and I still do. I have a business journal, so I would reflect in the morning, and I would reflect on in the evening on my goals. And so one of the things that I outline in my own personal journal is my morning routine, start my day off with gratitude and all these kinds of things, and what I want to do, whether it's yoga or my Tai Chi practice or what have you, and then my evening routine. And so what I said to this person about their own, evening routines and reflecting on what they could do differently for themselves, especially on the evening prior to them going to this other person's house, what I left this person with for reflection was, what are the wonderful things that have happened over the last 2 weeks since our last session? What are the 3 struggles I've encountered? What are the possible solutions for these struggles? What was my discipline level? How did my overall day go or weeks go? Am I closer to getting to that goal now than I was prior to the last session that we had? So these were some of the prompts that I gave the person. And what I want to hone in on is, what are the 3 struggles that I've been encountering, and what are the possible solutions for these struggles? What has my discipline been, and am I closer to this goal than I was before the last session? So the struggles that this person had was the struggle trying to convince this relative that they need to take their health seriously. The struggle that they've had with going to this person's house and, the takeout. They identified all these external struggles. What you want to do when you're doing your own reflection practice is you want to focus on your internal struggles as well. So it's okay to write down what your external, what other people's lives are, but what I want you to get used to doing is identifying your internal struggles, because that's where your true struggle is. It's never what other people are doing wholly. In other words, what other people are doing does impact you, but it doesn't impact you more than your own internal struggles. Your own internal struggles are where your biggest struggle will always be. And before we go, I'm going to give you a perfect example of this. Let's just say that you want to start a walking practice. Let's say you want to walk a 5K or run a 5K. Let's say that that's a better example. Let's just say you want to run a 5K. It's on the calendar. You know it's coming up in October. You know you've got to train for it. 5K, 10K, whatever it is. You've got to train for it. You've got to get used to running. You've got to get used to eating a certain, meal plan, diet, such and such. All of these things are things you have to do in order to be able to run this 5K. Now, let's just say that a couple of your struggles or hurdles that you have to get over is, you've got kids you've got to take to school, right? Or you've got, groceries that you have to buy or pick up, all the real life things, okay? Those are things you have to do and you're going to do. But what if internally what you're really struggling with is, gosh, I don't think that I can do it. Oh my gosh, I have never done this before. Oh my gosh, I don't want to come in last place and look like a fool at the day of the 5K. If those internal struggles are what's happening for you, that's where the biggest hurdle is. It isn't all the other things. And a lot of times people will say to me in coaching, they'll say, oh, well, Angel, I can't run because of my kids, or I can't do such and such because of my work schedule, or I can't do such and such. While those things may be valid, what's really going on is there is some internal struggle. There is some internal saboteur going on, a mindset shift that has to be made in order to overcome the outer barriers, okay? The only way you overcome outer struggles is by dealing with the inner struggle first, and that's those saboteur mindsets. So I want to bring it all the way back home to this client that I'm talking about with the coaching yesterday. when we dug a little deeper, the internal struggle was that she was more wanting to please this other person. They were wanting to please the other person, go along to get along, don't want to make a big deal. So what happens? They wind up doing the takeout. They wind up eating out all the time. They wind up making poor food choices. They wind up feeling guilty. Oh my God, I did it again. You see what I'm saying? So you have to deal with those internal mindsets first. And what is my own internal personal struggle? So what I want to leave you with this live today is I want you to get good at reflection. I want you to ask yourself, why am I allowing the people who refuse to change to keep me from changing? You want to change, but there may be some area in your life where the people around you who are refusing to change are impacting your ability to change. It's not enough to have desire. You have to be able to take action on your desires, to execute on your desires. So it's not enough just to say, oh, I want to lose 30 pounds or I want to run this 5K. You can want a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it comes down to being able to execute. So how is it that the people in your life who refuse to change are impacting your ability to execute and change your life the way you want to change? And that's real talk. That's just something that we all have to ask ourselves. It could be husbands, wives, friends, in-laws, all this other thing. So take that question into your weekend in your own journal practice. Because if you're on my feed, you know I talk a lot about journaling. So take that into your journal practice this weekend. Am I allowing the people who refuse to change to keep me from changing? And if so, how? What are the things that they are refusing to do that are impacting your life, your health, your well-being? Let's journal about that. Let's explore that. And let's get you some tools to be able to move past your own internal struggles that are impacting your life negatively. I want to offer you something. I'm going to drop it down in the comments. It's a saboteur assessment. It's free. I want you to take that assessment. And we can get on a call to talk about the results of your assessment. But these are the 9 saboteurs, the ways in which the 9 most common ways and mindsets that most of us have that impact our ability to really change and achieve the results in our lives that we really want to achieve. I'm going to drop that link in the comments in this live. You can access it. It's totally free. When you get your results, you can read the results by yourself, or you and I can take a deep dive together on a call. Okay, it's real stuff. I did the assessment myself, and when I tell you I've been 10xing on my goals ever since I took this assessment. It's been so powerful. It has really radically changed my life. I use it in my coaching. I use it with my patients. I use it on my retreats. I weave it into the work that we do in the Design the Life You Deserve retreats. It is a very, very powerful tool for understanding where you are getting in your own way. Ultimately, that's what it is. It's an assessment for you to figure out where you are getting in your own way. So I'm going to drop it in the comments. Use the link that I send to you. Once you get your results, I'll let you know in those comments where to send your results to me. And then we can get on a super, super, super insightful call to go over those results and pinpoint 3 action steps that you can take based on your results. This is why I don't put like a whole lot of like action, do this and this, because I believe we're all living very different lives. If you're living over in Canada, India, Australia, Brazil, Brussels, we're all living different lives. We have different realities. We have different genetic makeups, right? So different things that make up our lives and our mindsets. That's why this tool is so powerful, because it helps you identify what is happening in your life and in your own mindset that is getting in the way of your progress and your success. So I'm going to drop that link in the comments. Use it. Send your results to me. The email that you'll be sending it to will be in there. It's my general inbox. Once I get that, we can set up a live session to go over your results and get you 3 action steps to really start pushing forward and executing. Because I'll tell you the truth, folks, I do these lives because I really do want to see you change your life, not just your symptoms. I really do. I want to see you live longer and live better. Because what's the point of living long if you're not happy? What's that point of living long if you're not healthy? What's the point of living long if you don't feel well, right? So this is about living longer and living better. Okay, so that's all I got for you. The retreat information is coming out. I told you that in the last video. That's dropping next week. So it's the Design the Life You Deserve retreat. It's a 5-day journey to renew, refresh, and reinvent your life. That's coming out. Registration is opening for that. 4 seats are left. I have 1 person inquiring about a suite, so that may only leave 3 suites available. Get in on this. It's a 5-day journey to renew, refresh, and reinvent your life. If you're not on the mailing list, go to sivahealthgroup.com/start here to get on my mailing list. It's where all the early bird discounts are going to be. The codes are going to be in there. Everything that you need to get on that early bird registration and get your suite locked in. Your priority seating for the yacht tour that we're going on. It's just going to be amazing. So that's coming out. Get on the mailing list, sivahealthgroup.com/start here. Oh, one more announcement. Diabetes education class coming up in the classroom here at this Siva Health and the Siva Institute. It is Living Well with Diabetes. It is a 7-week journey to wellness. That is coming up here in the classroom. So excited about it. I'm setting up all of my teaching tools. This is one of my favorite teaching tools for my students. So we're just constantly adding new things in so that, we can make it interactive and fun and informative and whatnot. So look on my feed. I just posted it yesterday, the link to that. If diabetes education is something you want or need, you know someone who wants or needs it, it's all virtual, it's online. I'll be teaching from here in the classroom. People who live in my community who want to come in and be part of the classroom environment are going to be invited to come in. We also have some live demonstration days. So those who live in the community, if you've registered for the class, we will have some live demonstration days here in the classroom so that you can touch things and feel things and all that good stuff. So that'll be available to you as well. So registration is open for that. I'll leave the link to register for that also down in the comments as well. That starts on March 4th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go for 1 hour in teaching material, and then we'll leave the last 15 to 20 minutes for questions and answers, things like that. You only have to show up. I've got everything that you need, all your notes, taking equipment, your books, your guides, your downloads, all that good stuff. I've been a diabetes educator for a very long time. So if this is something that you're interested in, no matter where you are in the world, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, starts March 4th, virtual on Monday nights, Monday nights. It's every other Monday. Skipping a week so that you can implement and integrate some of the things that you learn into your life, and then come back into the classroom and talk about what your challenges are. Okay, so I think I've been going for a minute here. I know people's attention spans are short, but I like to give you as much as I can. This is also going to be posted on my YouTube channel. I'm working with a phenomenal team who is they're just beautiful people. So they are helping me to get all of this content over on YouTube, to archive it, make it easy for you to find it. So if you're watching this live on IG and you get distracted or whatever, don't worry, it'll all be archived in my living classroom on my YouTube channel very soon. So take good care, be well, be good to yourself, never, ever, ever, ever be afraid to be amazing. Have a wonderful weekend. And I think, I think this is the last full weekend in February, maybe. I don't know. I don't have my calendar in front of me. But if it is, enjoy this last full weekend of February. Love you guys. Take good care. And I'll see you soon. Bye.